Alright, I think the initial substorm has calmed down. And speaking of subs, we have to name our initial 7 dwarves after subscribers. So let me go ahead and bring up Dwarf Therapist. And we will go ahead and name that. I've got my subscriber list over here in a randomized order. So we're going to first have... Let me reread the dwarves here. Well, should be okay. There we go. Larwin. Pastacat. BLC 303. Oli von Fripp. I think he's been a dwarf before. I'm not sure. Feels like it. Tacticus Baconus. Oh, which fits. Interesting enough. And I know I'm missing some subs because I don't have the right screen up. I gotta finish this step here. Followed by DJ Furball over here. Boom! Set up. So we're gonna keep naming people after subscribers here. Also, Simon the Jedi. Hey, thanks for the tip. Greetings from sunny Sweden. Ah, I love Sweden so much. All right, now I got my proper screen up here. So I missed, I think, Turd Viking, Thong Owl, Grumpy Forever, Arden. If I missed anyone else, I'm sorry. It's gone off. It's gone off. It scrolled too fast. All right. Apparently, the name of my fortress is Shotwhips. So that's a thing. Alright, and yeah, so here we've got our Embark. We're sort of on the side of a slope, not a mountain, just a bit of a hill, a sort of a sandy, soily hill. Scream cheese with the sub. What I was thinking, we've got a nice little sort of peninsula area over here. I think very early on, the easiest way to sort of defense everything will simply be to go and remove these ramps. So if you haven't played before, this is the screen. Welcome. These are trees. I keep pointing. Look, oh, okay. These are trees. This is the ground, grassy bits, a little bit of rocky bits, that sort of thing. The triangles represent sort of slopes that go from one level to another. So for example, here I am on the most ground level, which is actually at the start of a brook. I don't think I've ever embarked at the start of a brook before, which is kind of interesting. And then I can go up one level. This is the level we're actually on over here. And then you can see there's more hillside over here, and I keep going up and up. So it's not, you know, not a very steep area, but that's all right. Hey, that one Marine with the resub, and I missed Chin's Pig. Hey, thank you very much, guys. That one Marine's been around for a long time as well. Big supporter. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is I'm going to put some downward stairs right in here. We're going to dig down, then we're going to remove the ramps from around here and block things. Hey! Got a creeper explosion. Lord Mime! You should have led the expedition. Me? Oh, I should have named a dwarf after me. You know what? Tell you what. The first wave of migrants we come, I will name one of the dwarves after me. That way horrible things can happen to me, which is going to be good. Okay? So let's go ahead. We're going to hit D for designate, J for downstairs. So I'm going to try to be explicit about what I'm doing, although we're not going full tutorial style here, just in the interest of speed. And then I'm just going to designate a 3x3 downstair. And then I'm going to hit I to switch to up-down stair mode. Go down here. And just go down a few levels. Boop. Like that. So that should dig out very quickly because, hey, Yuvan, because this is just digging into sand. Furthermore, I did bring a third pick. Most Embark starts you with 3. I always like to put in another one. And I'm going to take someone who may not be busy. So that's our hunter. Right now, our stonecrafter may not be doing as much. Who else we got over here? Our farmer? No, we're going to need that. We're going to need a woodcutter. So I'm going to, our stonecrafter and mason, I'm going to tell him to become a miner. That's a Zuna. Boom. All right. So then we'll have 3 miners getting going. That person doesn't have any mining skill, but that's okay. Zertok, thanks for the sub. Quilla's going to set himself as the king. No, I don't think that's going to be the case. Before I start, I'm also going to designate a couple of trees to be chopped. Actually, we've got a tree right on our little peninsula there. And then maybe we'll chop down these 2 as well. That should lead to a decent amount of food. We're going to need a pasture somewhere at some point, too. Let me go ahead and set up a pasture right now, because we do have some animals. So right over here, we've got some amount of grass. I could set up on the ground as well, but we'll probably end up moving it later on. So we got that. I'm going to hit N to make it a pen/pasture. Shift N to start designating people to it. I'm going to hit Shift G to filter out anything that doesn't graze and therefore doesn't need to be assigned to a pasture. And we'll just assign our 2 lambs, male and female. And, oh, we were very lucky. The animals that the game gave us to pull our wagon here happen to both be yaks, a cow and a bull. So we actually have a breeding pair of yaks as well, which is really lucky. Alright, so they're going to be assigned there. We'll go ahead and unpause at this point, I think, and get things going. So, with this soil layer, we're going to be able to do some farming underground very quickly and very easily. Looks like we've got some more soil on this layer as well. I was going to say we could go and dig out sort of a tunnel through here, down here, and make some farms, but I think we're going to be able to do something over here. So, I'm going to go ahead and dig out a tunnel this way, and we'll set up some farms as quickly as possible. There we go. Rather like that. Get our plants growing, and then what we'll do is we'll also, in this hallway, we'll set up seed storage. So we'll keep all the seeds over here right next to the farm plots. Fireskvelt, thanks for the sub. Oh! Hey, wow, things are coming crazy. Oh, that one Marine, you are so, wow, you are such a supporter. Thank you very much. It's always been my dream to become a dwarf and die a horrible, gruesome death in the name of Lord Quill. Here's to hoping. Also, as always, keep them great vids coming. Thank you very much, that one Marine. That's very nice of you. I don't know what the list is. I'm looking here, because I pre-randomized the list. There are some people on here that I think have been waiting for a very, very, very long time to become a dwarf. I do randomize it to try to keep it fair. You know, do my best that way. Farm plots. So, this is all soil, which means we can farm on all this stuff, which is great. Like that. And another one over here. And one more. We might actually start only working the one. Just grow our plump helmets and then call that good enough. It's not a bad idea. And then I'm going to make a stockpile. Technically, it's a food stockpile, although it's only going to contain seeds. Right in here. Change settings. So under food, what we do is we block all. Hello, Krupkin! Thanks for the sub. And then what I'm going to do is enable the seeds. There we go. So, seeds will be carried and just stored in this little area here. Sounds reasonable, right? Quill, it may not be a breeding pair. One could be sterile or not interested in the opposite sex. Well, that could certainly be true, although I don't think that is modeled in Dwarf Fortress. Alright. So we got that. So, usually we want to set up some storage and some workshops right away. And I tend to make them in the sand layer just because it's so much faster to dig out. So I think I will do that again this time. I think I'm just going to do it one level below the farms. So right over here, we'll dig out something like that. Actually, I guess we can go here. Yeah. Big stockpile. We'll get everything moved underground where it's nice and safe. Everything's better underground. At least that's what dwarves think. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So this will be our workshop space. Just some early workshop space in here. And then the big question will be, what kind of metals do we have? Do we have charcoal or coal? I think the last time we had coal. Unfortunately, we crashed, so we don't have that. Start the booze. Yes, very soon we'll start our booze production. No worries there. Nocturnal Android, thank you for the sub. Trying to learn Dwarf Fortress in your streams like this, where you explain what you're doing, is extremely helpful. Well, thank you, Thrudrina. Appreciate it. I know I'm not, like, I'm going a little fast and not, like, literally explaining every single click, but we try to be descriptive enough to make it so that people can get this going. Yeah, no, I mean, dwarves I know can have different sexuality, but I don't think the animals in the game are anything but, like, 100% fertile all the time and willing to breed 100% of the time. They used to even breed by spores, basically. You could have, like, the males and the females separated in cages and stuff, and they would still make babies. Well, I think the babies would still happen if the males were caged, I think. If the females were caged, maybe not. But still, like, you could keep them separated in locked rooms and they would still breed somehow. Now they actually have to get into close proximity. So a little bit more realistic. Alright, finish clearing out that storage. There we go. Big old stockpile. Last time we did it, I actually did, like, you know, a bunch of stockpiles that for different purposes. I think I'm going to go back to my one Omni stockpile, at least to start off with here. Except for a little bit of dedicated space for food. Oops. So what I do is I enable everything. Not corpses and refuse. Oh, not stone. But everything else. So one giant stockpile that can fit everything in there. Oh, I'll disable the food because I'm going to make some dedicated food ones. Yeah. One there and one there. And on the bottom one, I'm going to disable the drink. Forbid drinks. And on the one above it, I'm going to block all other than drink. That way, we always have some storage for our food and drink. So now all the dwarves should be busy. If they're not doing anything else, they're going to cart everything downstairs, which is going to be great. We do need to set up our starting workshops for the important ones. So the important ones, as I talked about last time when we had the crash, are, well, for a few different reasons, but a craft dwarf workshop is very important because you can make bolts there so you can keep hunting. Oh, right, we don't have any stone yet. You know what? Let's wait. We have a couple of units of marble, but that's it. Let's, we'll dig a little bit deeper. More deeply and greedily. There's our marble layer over here. Just so that we can get more stone to build things in. But you need your carpenters, your mason, your still, and your craft workshop as early as possible is very, very handy. Although I like to set up my butcher shop and tannery quite early as well. Okay, if I do that, that should give us a little bit more stone. So we'll wait until they're still working to cart things around. How many animals have shown up now? Now we've got giant thripes. What the hell is a giant thripe? A huge monster in the form of a thripes. Her chitin is brown, her eyes are black, so it's some sort of giant bug thing. Specifically described as a huge monster. Does not make me particularly happy. Donjus! Thanks for the sub. Yeah, my upload speed? Yeah, I think it's about 30 megs a second, something like that. Hey, Restry is around. Cool. The Nerd Wonder, thanks for the sub as well. Alright, the other thing I want to do is remove ramps over here. I'm going to start, like, thinking about our security situation as quickly as possible here, since we could get a lot of crazy monsters pretty fast. So I'm going to remove all these ramps so that the only way to get to our stairs will be via this little land bridge, which I will then block off with a gate. I'll actually start on that right away. Build, construct, wall. Hang on. Wall, make it a little wider. Like that. Okay, still waiting for that marble to get dug out. But yeah, I'm going to want this built as quickly as possible because I think it's a really good idea. How's the learning curve of this game? It's pretty steep. It is definitely one of the hardest games to get into, but the reward is so huge. It's because of the emergent stuff, especially later on when you start to see the combat, you will be blown away at how much depth there is to this game. There's so much you can do. Hi, Sound Sense is finally clicking in. Slipped Up and Klindos, thank you very much for the subs and the resubs. There we go, removing those ramps. Do we have our material now? Build, construct, wall. Yeah, there we go. A little bit more marble. So we're just gonna chill. We're gonna dig a little trench around the little hill your stars are in. Yeah, maybe. Because I know things can climb now, so the more sort of a height difference we can give, the better. Probably what I'll end up doing is building a set of walls around here as well, just to break some line of sight in case my people need to get in and out and they won't be as scared anymore. Struck Tanzanite. Well, isn't that exciting? Build bridge. Hopefully we've got the material for that. So the idea is to do that and have it raise upwards. There we are. So once we get that bridge in place, and then we can set up a lever. We will need some mechanisms for that, but we'll be able to raise that bridge, and so no one will be able to casually walk in. They can climb up, but, you know, I'll have to build up to that. So I want to set a zoom location here. Let's go and set up our plump mines. Boom. Use Shift-Enter to set it for all seasons. So our plump helmets will grow in all seasons. I'll come back and do the others at some point later on. Don't want to overwhelm my farmer early. What do we have over here? These bugs? Swarm of flies. Ew, that's not good. Valentil, thanks for the sub. Build. Workshop. So, let's get our still. Ideal item marble. Let's get our craft workshop. Let's get our carpenter's workshop. Let's get our mason. What else? We need a mechanics workshop if we want to set up that lever. Okay. And a tanner. The reason is once we start hunting, we start doing butchering, we want to turn those hides into cured leather right away so they don't rot. We don't need a leather works, but we do need a tanner for that. Then our butcher, I'm going to do the thing where we build the butcher shop sort of underground here. Four-star flood. Thanks for the resub. Why is it pronounced flood, not flood? Oh yeah, we need a door. So, yeah, dig that out. And then we put a little fortification here so it can vent outside. Okay. Plants are planting. Workshops are workshopping. What I'll do is I will... Yeah, we do need a manager, so let's go ahead and set up some of our nobles. Damn username with the resub! Been a subscriber for a long time. Bookkeeper. Pasta Cat is going to be a bookkeeper. We're going to have DJ Furball be our organizer. Chief Medical Dwarf is going to be Larwin, and our broker is going to be Ollie von Fripp over here. Okay. What the hell sound effect is that? Salt and hammer. Okay. Alright, Sound Sense. Alright, and then what we do is construct a fortification right in here. So fortification is like a wall with arrow slits, basically, but it allows venting, which is good. All right, since I have a manager, I can set up an order for some rock doors. We're going to want like 10 of those. We need beds. We've got 7 dwarves, so let's ask for 7 beds. Then after the beds are done, we'll get some wooden barrels, because we're going to need barrels to make booze. I'll just ask for 10 for now, and then some wooden bins, because otherwise our stockpile is going to be a big mess. Oh, and some mechanisms. Let's ask for, I think we need 2 to hook up our bridge. But you know what? Let's queue up like 10, because we can always sell some mechanisms if need be. Plus, maybe we'll want some traps, depending on how dangerous thing. Tame the giant thrips, please. Still don't know what they are. In Jado, I do have some tutorials for this game. They're for a previous version, but they will still work. But I do have some explicit tutorials on my YouTube channel. But, you know, I try to explain what my moves are here. What I'm going to use... So one of the keys you can use is the Q key to, like, interact with the building. So over here is what's left of our wagon. I'm actually going to take that apart because our wagon, if we disassemble the wagon, will give us, like, 3 logs. And there's no reason to leave it out there forever. Alright, workshops and things are being built. That's good. I need to capital H, F2. So I'm setting a hotkey, and then Z to zoom. So now I can go F1, F2, which is good. And then down on this floor here, this will eventually be probably a bedroom floor. And I'll put the dining room on this level as well. Tell you what, in this corner over here will be the dining room. So let me do that, and then come back Get some nice rounded corners. It'll look cool. And let's go and, in the middle of this room... does this room have an actual middle? Might not have. Okay, no, that looks pretty middle-ish. Right? Right. It's a little deceptive because it sort of sticks on the side here. But if we look... and this line up there... yeah, okay, we're good. I think we got another donation to tip. Scary Tramp. I want to lose my arms in your service. Yes, the legendary Ms. Carsonell, the Armless, who got her arms ripped off in a badger attack. Everyone still remembers that one. Let's set up some bedrooms over here. So I'm using D for designating, then mining. I'm going to use Control R here to record a macro. That's built into the game, and then I hit Control R from here to stop recording, and then Control P to playback. Very handy. There we go. Let's use that for initial bedrooms. Good enough. All right, miners, keep mining. Oh, I done goofed. There we go. They weren't actually connecting to the hallway. There. Better. Struck Cinnabar. Cool. So I'm going to hit capital H to set a hotkey. F3. Zoom to here. There we go. 1, 2, and 3. Lovely. Okay, we have our still set up. I'm going to queue up a brew from plants. 30 jobs there. Which, we probably won't have the barrels or the plants for 30 at this point, but the nice thing about setting up a job with the manager, so it's J for your jobs, M for your manager, Q for new order, and then what it'll do, it'll keep trying to redo the job over and over until it finally completes. There we go. Yeah, they don't have any plants to do it with. So that's okay. We have to wait for some of these plump helmets to grow, or, and I do quite like to do this, is designate P for gather plants, and I like to tell my dwarves to go and grab a whole bunch of these plants. They'll go to all the bushes and grab them. We just have to make sure someone is set to actually gather plants. No one's idle right now, are they? No. So I don't know if it should be my farmer. My farmer's still pretty legit busy. Tell you what, Zune over here, you can be off mining duty at this point. That is totally okay. But instead, I'm going to put you on plant gathering. There you are. And soon, at some point, when we get a few more dwarves, we'll start using auto labor. Because I like auto labor. But we'll wait on that. Okay. Build, workshop, butcher's workshop. Right in there. Oh, bed construction is done. Good. So we built that, and let's build a door, which we don't have yet, but I've got them queued up, so if I go Shift P into planning mode, which is something available with DF hack, I can put down the door there, and as soon as one actually gets built, then it'll get queued out here, which is a very handy way to do things. I'll have to set up some nest boxes soon. Do you have any fruit trees? Really? Oh, no, I don't. Interesting, though. They generate a lot of food. That's cool. Yeah, fortresses always start with 7 dwarves, but we will get more migrants soon. Always happens. So yes, so I've got my little fortification here, which has vents. I'm going to put a door here, and here's my butcher shop. So then when we hunt things, they get brought over here, they get cut up, and some of the bits and pieces might start to rot very quickly once the animal is butchered. And so any miasma will just get blown out the window and not infect the rest of my fortress. So miasma is from like a very old theory of how diseases worked, which people thought bad smells created diseases, which sort of makes sense in that anywhere you are where there are bad smells, you're more likely to get diseases. You know, sewers, vomit, you know, the smell of like rotting flesh, swamps, etc. I mean, obviously all those places are good places to get disease. It's not the smell that carries it, but people didn't really recognize one way or another, so they just assumed it was the smells themselves that was causing disease. Which still sort of indirectly caused them to do like good behaviors because they were avoiding bad smell things, or, you know, burying bodies and stuff like that. And it turns out that's actually a really, really good idea to do. Interrupted by combat. It's the hunter. Okay, the hunter is fighting, and that's all. I must withdraw. Giant sparrows. We have giant sparrows causing problems? Wow. Anyway, to bring my story to an end, the disease malaria is literally, like, Italian for bad air. Mala aria, or something like that. It's bad air. Because it was a swampy disease. Swamps stink. It's actually the mosquitoes carrying things. Giant sparrow problems. We are hunting things out, though. Is this vanilla? No, it's using the starter pack. So it's mostly vanilla, but with, like, you know, little helper features. Yeah, so it's not like masterwork or anything like that. As I say, certainly there must be a what game command that keeps answering these questions, but people will ask anyway. Oh, I could have built this bedroom one over. A little silly. Oh well. Build bed. We'll use placement mode on, even though we do have the beds. Get these bedrooms set up, since we know we have the beds. Door, which already has placement mode on. I don't know if we have the doors or not. We'll go ahead and do that. And finally get our bedrooms. Get our dwarves happy right away. Yes, of course I've heard of the new YouTube streaming service coming out. Should make an underground swimming pool. That's interesting. I don't think that dwarves like to swim particularly, but it would be really fun. So we're picking a bunch of plants. And they'd be getting stored over here. I'm just curious to see what there might be. So that's some of our yak meat and boar meat we brought with us. There's a plump helmet. And a barrel, which has... what does it have inside? Nothing? That has dwarven wine. So this barrel is empty. Okay, so it's waiting for some food to be stored in it. Dwarves seem to swim like bricks. Yeah, pretty much. On the farm level, there's a lake to the left of your farm. Yes, I know. Well, it's this pond over here, which will be nice for fishing later on. Oh, yeah, can't brew. Don't have the plants. I can actually designate a zone here as a water gathering / fishing zone. They will do stuff automatically, but if I do this... actually, what would be better, I think, is the brook. Presumably there's fish in here, and probably fresher water. Do that, water source, fishing zone. I mean, if I didn't designate it, technically they would still just use everything, but this should, I think, be better. Alright, it's there properly, good. Okay, doors are being assembled. We have our mechanisms, which is great, so let's build a lever. Build construct? No, oh, it's under traps, for some reason. A lever over here. Use, oh yeah, we need lots of mechanics. You need one to build it, and then you need the other one to link it. So someone will build that lever, and then we'll attach it to our drawbridge, and we'll be able to seal ourselves up a little bit. Was it salmon? What was it? It was it trout, like the killer trout way back in the day? Because of the way certain damage calculations worked, way back in the day, like a few years ago, fish were some of the most dangerous things that could fight a dwarf. And you would, like, go near the river and a fish would just grab you and kill you. It was crazy. But I think that has been altered pretty significantly at this point.